Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right. We are now live on HDR Analytics as Madison is under a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warnings at this point. Downtown probably getting a bit of hail. Just got a new weather notification. Oh, okay. Not a whole lot with this particular storm. Oh, well, never mind. Ping pong ball size hail. Right now there's this other patch of hail right by Riley. Sorry about that. Ping pong ball size hail, 1.5 inches, winds up to 60 miles an hour. This warning expires in 18 minutes, but it might take closer to a half hour for the actual system to move out of the area. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to turn my mic up just a little bit here. See if that works. Okay, I think that's better. Let's take a look at potential hail. This is a little bit tricky because I'm going to move my screen. Okay. I cannot actually see all of my screen, which is annoying. There we go. Exit. Still can't. There we go. And my camera appears to be just not working, so we might just turn that off. That's bizarre. I have no idea why that just refuses to work. There we go. Okay. So, no, now I'm using the wrong camera. Okay, now I've switched back here. Oh, I see. Okay. We'll use this one. All right. So, we are currently monitoring that one cell, or maybe group of cells. This one expanding over here west of Middleton, approaching the belt line. And main threat with this is going to be hail and winds. I'd say more so hail. All of this purple stuff you see, or at least the vast majority of it. So this patch here, this patch here, this patch here, these are all where radar indicated hail is present. Obviously want to keep an eye on that. And it looks like it's fairly large hail. I'm not seeing any, but I'm not under a hail area yet. And we've also got a lot of lightning strikes, obviously. That's not surprising. Okay, YouTube is yelling at me and says it's not maintaining a smooth stream, but I don't think that's true. Okay. So yeah. Well, big boom of thunder now. Yeah, this western patch is probably moving right towards me. East side of Madison, McFarland, Monona gonna get hard by this sector over here. If you're kind of in this was looking a little different a while ago, but sort of Shorewood Hills area south of there is relatively in the clear for now. At least it appears that way. I'm going to close out some apps so my computer can run as best it can. Okay. And then we do have tornado warnings up in the Dells. Look at that. Radar indicated tornado warning with 1-inch hail until 4:30. That one must have come in a while ago and I missed it. We also had tornado warnings, and we still have it. Wow. Up in Eau Claire, let's take a look at this. 2-inch lime-size hail. There was an observed tornado. It appears to have been downgraded to just radar indicated. But this was going all the way back here, closer to Lake Mondovi. Pretty far distance for that one tornado, so that could be a new spin up. I'm trying to figure out why I can't get this to work. 1 second. I'm trying to make sure that I get this as big as I can. Okay, that looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I have to somewhat shrink my app here so that I can actually see everything properly, which makes it a pain. Okay. Yeah, like that's way too small. I might just do full screen anyways. Let's try it. Okay. Looks much better on here. And I'm just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. I'm not really able to see my menu. Oh, I don't think I can really fix that. Okay. Actually, let's see what's the better way to do this. Kind of set this up in a hurry. Anyways. Alright, let's take a look at this. Still have us at ping pong ball size hail. West Middleton, sort of by Maury Airport. Gonna get hit. Storm's moving at about 50 miles an hour, so pretty fast, which is a good thing. Any damage is not going to be super long and sustained. Wow, we have another tornado warning up in Baraboo. Tons of hail. $50 size. Let's check out the rotation here. Did that work or not? No, it did not. I don't even think I have keyboard shortcuts. It's just going to make this a real pain. Let's look at velocity. Okay, not a lot of rotation anywhere by us. Ooh, actually, maybe this could just be the fact that it's on the edge of the radar signature. Too soon to tell. But the reason we have these tornado warnings up near the Dells and Baraboo is when you have this bright red and this bright green right next to each other. That's your rotation. We've got the two different, basically it's showing the direction of the winds relative to the radar. The radar is over Milwaukee. If you have the two wind speeds coming at each other that fast, that's what creates your spin-up rotation. It can get you tornadoes. Same thing over here. It looks a little bit weaker. And then up in Chippewa Falls, I'm not really seeing much here. It's that little green patch, but it's fairly weak. I wouldn't get too concerned. I'm going to try and make this work better. I guess I can't. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult because I can't actually see the controls on the radar. I have to like look at another screen to get to them. Okay. Still nothing changing for Madison. Let's get back on that radar. There we go. Huge patch of hail though. I mean, this is spanning a couple miles at least. All of that purple is hail. That's intense. Not seeing any like hooks form yet that would cause tornadoes. A couple more weaker cells down here. And these ones that we're getting right now essentially develop just south of us, so close to the Illinois border. Whereas these ones up more north, they kind of started back in Minnesota. But that line has kind of been extending, and I can pull out and show here. Let's look. If we go 50 frames back even, this is the national radar. You can see how the line has basically extended from north to south. Once it loads, that blue bar at the top must finish. So yeah, you can see those new storms popping up right at the tail end here. That's what we're getting right now. They were not over in Minnesota. So these can develop rather quickly. You can see it right here. Okay, let's go back to local radar. So again, main threat areas right now, By McFarland, they're getting some hail heading towards Monona. Looks like this hail is mostly cleared out with that new scan, north of Madison near DeForest. And then far west side in Middleton, probably Waunakee. Waunakee is going to want to watch out for that hail. There's just looks like a lot of it. Ping pong ball size hail. Then they have this severe thunderstorm warning to the right says lime size. I don't really understand that because there's less hail showing up right now. Also, it's very confusing when you have 50 severe thunderstorm warnings with all these orange boxes, and I can't tell which one I'm looking at. So, like, Memorial's right over here. We're under the one with the 1.5-inch hail. Presumably, that's what that purple stuff is. But then they're saying lime size hail, a considerable damage start up here. I'm not seeing that. I don't know what they're referring to. Let's take a look at this tornado warning by Baraboo. Okay. Yeah, so definitely some rotation here, right by Devil's Lake. Let's see if it's doing anything. Okay, yeah, so a little bit of spin up. I'm not convinced there's a tornado. Let's look at our debris signature. Yeah, not really high probability that that is a tornado yet, but definitely one we still want to keep an eye on. And sirens are going off there. People should be sheltering. They just have it as radar indicated, not observed. Do we have any observed tornadoes? No, we don't. So at this point, there's no tornadoes on the ground that have been visually confirmed where someone has actually seen them. All of these tornado warnings are just based on radar. So the velocity data that we were just looking at, that red and green wind mix. But so far, as of now, at this moment, there have not been any spotted tornadoes, at least that are going on right now. Okay. Trying to just make sure the stream works okay. Looks like it is. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe a little bit of condensing on this hail patch by Middleton, but not a whole lot. Again, I'd say this is expected to go this event potentially through 7 p.m. even after. I believe the tornado watch is in effect until 10 p.m. This may just be the beginning. It could get worse. And at this point, you know, these areas that are getting hail, it's not good, but it's for the most part, I think, missed the major population areas of Madison. Let me fact check that. Let's take a look. And again, sorry for the slow clicks. I can't actually see my screen fully. So yeah, downtown Madison didn't really get much hail at all, the center here. It's more been on the outskirts, so closer to Middleton and now through Waunakee. Waunakee's about to get hit with that 1.5-inch hail. And then down southeast, McFarland, Cottage Grove, those areas. Okay, let's stop the time lapse here. Oh, except, of course, now I have to reset it. There we go. Okay. They've not revised any of these warnings. Again, I still don't get the lime-sized hail thing. That doesn't really add up with what the radar is showing. Lime-sized hail at this Baraboo tornado now too, and a lot of it, all of this purple, is potential hail. Mostly northeast of main city Baraboo, but still that tornado warning there. Let's see if that's gone anywhere. Yep, so definitely still some rotation could be happening right in this area, right here. If there is a tornado, that's where it's going to be at this point. So just east of Devil's Lake State Park is where that rotation's happening. We need to keep an eye on that. Not seeing a whole lot else. Let's see if we have anything new. They did allow the tornado warning that was north of that up by Eau Claire to expire. There's no tornado warning north of Sauk, Wisconsin, and the Devil's Lake area. Everything, it is these two that we're watching for tornadoes right now. And the second one looks a lot less likely than this one where we've got this bright green, bright red. This is really what we should be watching as the main threat right now. And then for Madison, it's just that hail. Let's take a look down here again. There we go. At this point, Madison is pretty much in the clear. Far East Madison could be getting some of this hail. But Waunakee might get just missed by the worst of this. Parts of Waunakee up here by Highway 19 could get hit with that. Other than that, though, we're fine for now. No tornado threat at this point that would have passed with this specific set of storms. But more cells. You can see down here these smaller little patches are starting to develop, and we can take a look at the Davenport radar too and see how that's been changing. There we go. So yeah, you can see more pop-ups happening here. Any of those happen around Dubuque, those are generally going to trend towards Madison. If those can intensify as they get here, those may produce tornadoes later on too. But as of now, Madison appears to be fine. Again, some of the suburbs more to the northwest and east are potentially still getting that hail. Waunakee kind of lucked out. They're mostly on the edge here. But this is kind of tearing up right through East Madison. So right by, is this right by the airport? Kind of. But yeah, far East Madison is going to be getting this hail. So between 151, this is going to go right through Sun Prairie effectively. Sun Prairie should be anticipating some large hail. They're reporting 2-inch lime size hail. I can't verify that. That's just what they're estimating based on the radar. We'll see what that actually ends up being later on. Let's check back in on our Baraboo tornadoes or potential tornadoes. Still just radar indicated. And yeah, still relatively strong rotation happening here, but not convinced it's doing anything yet. Chance max hail size 2.25 inches with this set of storms that move through Baraboo at this point heading towards Portage. But again, the good thing here is that the storm's moving at 56 miles an hour, moderate to fast speed, so any damage would not last super long and should get over with pretty quickly. We don't want fast wind speeds like straight line winds, so like we'll see with our thunderstorm warning that we're still under 60 mile an hour. That's bad, right? But the good thing is that any sort of hail, tornado threat, if the storm itself, this speed, is pretty fast, that's going to clear the area faster than it would if it was a very slow, stationary supercell. Nothing more at this point. We do have a we do have a new tornado warning. All right. Clark County, Wisconsin, near the Clark County forest, huge patch of hail. Also a tornado warning, and let's take a look at the velocity here. I presumably this is the spot they're looking at, so right near, I believe that's US Highway 10. This is the area they are currently monitoring. Let's see. Not too much to see here yet. This is also just radar indicated. And at this point, Madison is effectively fully in the clear, at least west of downtown. For now, we are fine. That hail threat, if we got any, should be gone. But far east Madison could still get some from here, although that appears like it might be. Or is this a new branch? This looks like a new branch. Yeah, so more hail developing over here. This kind of rotating and hooking off here, developing a little bit stronger. Nothing too bad yet. They haven't declared a severe thunderstorm warning despite the hail. It must not be big enough yet. Not much on that Baraboo rotation watch. Clark. Still just some hail here. Still have that considerable tag on the severe thunderstorm warning near DeForest for lime size hail. Obviously not good. As for west of Madison, this warning is going to expire in 42 minutes, although that feels like it's way longer than it needs to be. Unless they're anticipating new storms to pop up like right around here. We're not getting much else until these sets start to come through. So a little bit of line down here by Davenport, Iowa. One cell maybe starting to develop near Dodgeville, but that would most likely miss most of Madison. So this warning probably, they could frankly dismiss early. The NWS might decide to do that. Occasionally they extend warnings. Sometimes they also can just end them early. And Richmond, Wisconsin earlier today did get a tornado touchdown. So we know that these storms are capable of producing tornadoes. Let's check out Baraboo. Not as strong rotation. As for up here, also not super tight rotation, but again, that tornado warning remains in effect. 1-inch hail along with that one. Down here, 2-inch hail. Not good. So areas east of Baraboo should continue to monitor that, stay sheltered. But at this point, I don't believe there is a tornado. Just, it's possible. As for Madison, though, we're going to take a quick break because we do not have any storms. Well, what's this south one? Let's see. This one could hit East Madison. Probably not going to have any impacts west of downtown. We're going to take a quick break and come back if anything quickly changes, which is possible. So stay tuned for that. All right, so real quick, coming back, National Weather Service has actually not issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this yet, but this little southern patch we were looking at when we took a break, heading just past through Fitchburg, heading for downtown, is producing hail at this point. Again, not clear on size of that hail. They haven't warned the storm yet. Moving at 62 miles an hour, 100% chance of hail for that purple area, but max up to about an inch or less. So nothing too major quite yet. But again, this will go through basically right through downtown Madison. So if anyone is around there, keep an eye on that. Baraboo, that tornado remains just radar indicated, nothing really developing there. As does the one in Clark County, so nothing new. But again, more hail coming in, pass through Fitchburg, heading for downtown Madison. At this point, not too major, but keep an eye on that. And we'll take another break. Just a quick update on that situation near Portage. The NWS has upgraded that to an observed tornado warning. However, looking at the footage, I am more so seeing a funnel cloud that is nearing the ground, not one that has actually touched the ground. I don't think that has actually become a touchdown tornado quite yet. Uh, However, at this point, there has been a funnel cloud with a couple close calls near Portage, so the NWS went ahead and upgraded that to observed on that tornado warning. Other tornado warning we've got is up north here. Still just radar indicated, no new updates there. That hail that went through downtown Madison still sticking around, heading up to Sun Prairie. Couple more storms potentially headed our way down near Iowa. These could also track east though, so we'll keep an eye on that and come back. All right, we're coming back because Madison has a new severe thunderstorm warning. National Weather Service just issued this one. Expires in an hour and 7 minutes, so they are clearly anticipating these storms that we were just talking about in Iowa. We kind of foreshadowed this that are tracking northeast. National Weather Service expects that those are going to run through Madison, and the warning has been issued with 1.5-inch or ping pong ball size hail and up to 60-mile-an-hour winds. And let's see, near along a line extending from near Madison. See, this doesn't make a ton of sense because um, I'm not entirely sure which storms they're I assume that's for those storms, but that doesn't make sense either. This warning just doesn't really make a ton of sense in general because I'm not sure why they issued it. But then if it's for these, why were these not also issued? Maybe they don't think that it'll be strong enough by the time it hits like New Glarus. But anyways, we do have another warning again. That last one did expire, but now we're under a new severe thunderstorm warning for that hail and strong winds. So we will keep an eye on that. And you can see down here in Illinois, these storms starting to develop as well. We'll keep an eye on those. Tornado warnings still observed in Baraboo. And let's check in on this one. I don't believe it's touched down at all. Not seeing much here. Not really seeing a specific debris signature either. Not convinced this is touched down, maybe just a funnel cloud. And severe thunderstorm warnings basically all extending throughout this line. All of these storms are producing hail right now. So we will keep an eye on these two quickly approaching our area in Verona and follow this warning when we have more information. Just checking back in. Nothing new for Madison quite yet. Checking back in on these tornado warnings. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now throughout the state of Wisconsin. Two of these are kind of the same tornado rotation area. We've got this one up here in Loyal, near Loyal. Then we got Marshfield, another warning that just came in like a minute ago. Wisconsin Rapids just got one a minute or two ago. And where are we? Near Adams, Wisconsin. And then this big one, probably the most likely to have an actual tornado, the one that came through Baraboo. Now it's right over Dalton, Wisconsin, heading towards Manchester. And two of these are observed, the one that we just looked at. No, I lied, it's not observed anymore. It's these two right here, that is basically one. So in Loyal, we look at the velocity, the rotation right around here. Other than that, nothing new to report from Madison. Still tracking the storms coming in from the southwest. So these, if this can develop into any sort of line that might get warned at some point, we'll keep an eye on that and come back. So two quick updates. First is that severe thunderstorm warning that came in most recently for us that had that hour expiration time. We thought it was weird, and clearly the National Weather Service realized that it was weird and probably unintentional because they removed that warning. It was supposed to run for another 40 minutes or so, but we're under no warnings at this point and just that tornado watch until 10 p.m. Also, these storms that we were tracking in aren't really appearing to consolidate a whole lot or strengthen. If we look back here, they actually look like they're maybe weakening and shrinking up a little bit. Um, and that special weather statement didn't get extended. Looks like that's just dissipated to rain. Maybe a little bit of hail in here by Argyle, but not much. Um, I don't think we're going to get anything too serious from these unless these somehow rebound, pick up energy, and strengthen before they hit Mount Horeb, Madison. Um, at this point, I would be concerned more about like East Wisconsin slash uh, Northern Illinois. Apparently in Chicago, the Beyonce concert got delayed by 2 hours. There's like 50,000 people going to that at Soldier Field. They pushed that back because of the storms. But at this point, I don't see anything super upcoming for us. So we're going to go on a potentially pretty long break and see if we get anything else. It's still very much possible, and I mean, we're still getting a couple new cells popping up down here. If we get more up here, those could also track east. But at this point, I'm going to say we're not going to get, unless these storms rebound very quickly before they hit Madison, we're not going to get much in the next hour or maybe even two. So we'll go on a break and keep an eye on that. Alright, at this point, those storms that were west of us have fully dissolved. We're probably going to fully end the stream for now, and the tornado watch is still in effect for another 3 hours or so. So we'll keep an eye on things. If storms do pop up again, we will bring the stream back on. But for now, nothing approaching Madison in the immediate future. So we will shut down the stream and it should be back up at the same link if new storms do show up.